at war with all of you.
Yo, peace. StreamYard already acting up. They already acting up. We gonna try. I gotta restart this. I already gotta restart. Let me restart real quick. I'll be right back. Yo. All right. Look like it's working. Look like it's working. Look like it's working. Look like it's working. All right, cool. All right, seems to be working. Let me run a test real quick.
Content warning. This video is about a sensitive topic involving violence, assault, and loss of life. We've removed any graphic or descriptive content to comply with YouTube's guidelines. The aim of this video is to provide informative, factual journalism on tragic events in the public interest that does not dismiss its seriousness. All clips shown are under the doctrine of fair use for news reporting and analysis, and some points made in this video are simply opinions and theories. I'm not responsible for third-party information, and this video is being made purely for artistic, educational, documentary, and scientific purposes.
Before starting at Town Square. Be more is in the Town Square. Yo, peace. Shadow Watchers. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the supporters. Shout out to the gang. You already know what's up. Shout out to LC. Out here in these streets. Y'all know it's a love thing. But show. But every day feels like this. My man going true it, boy. I love that little meme shit. That shit right there, hard body. He going true it. My man. Oh, God have mercy on my soul. Yeah, I took the sound out of it. It had music in it, so I had to. When I edited it, I took the sound out of it purposely. I got this other one too that I like a lot. That's what it's like out here in these damn streets, bro. That's exactly what it's like here. Y'all know what time it is. Shout out to the Shadow Gang, dog. I see y'all out here in these streets, bro. But remember this, though.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
That man said, I didn't see the light till I was nearly a man. By that time, to me, it was blinding, G. I got a funny video to play at the end. We're going to talk some shit about it. You already know. But this show's about Candace and Kasparian. The last show she did, I think, was this one. But Candace, Kasparian, That's what it's called, Beauty and Brains. Two beautiful women having a really decent conversation, having a really, really good conversation actually. And we're about to take a quick reaction, take a look at it, see what's going on. Shout out to Candace, shout out to Anna Kasparian from she's from the Young Turks, by the way, the TYT channel that you always see with the heavy set big dude. He looks kind of Indian, kind of looks kind of Persian a little bit. That's where they're from. I tap into their show from every once in a while. At least I look at the shorts of that show. Not necessarily the shorts, but the shorter videos that they do. I think they're a pretty decent channel. They're a pretty decent channel. Young Turks, yeah. Young Turks, TYT, yeah, that's them. Yeah, they good shit. I like them. Like I really don't have no issue with them. Like, you know who I don't kind of fuck with a lot? PBD. I don't fuck with PBD, and now to come to find out he's in some scandal, I was just like, That's all I could say. That's all I could say. I'm not surprised. But without further ado, gave all the pleasantries. Welcome back to the village gang. Y'all know what to do, and y'all pull up in the town square where all is clean and all is fair. Attack the conversation and the idea. Don't attack the person. I'll attack the person for all of us. Necessary. But let's roll.
To the Candace show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm like thrilled to have you. It's
Thank
just
you.
so funny because we hated each other
Yes,
so much.
so much. I mean, it is wild where we're at, but I'll tell you where I started to change my mind about you. It was a few years ago where, well, first of all, it started with your firing at the Daily Wire and what you were fired for, right? The fact that you were willing to call out a genocide for what it is. And I really respected that because there weren't really any media people on the right at all at that time who were willing to do it. Then after that, you went on, I think maybe a few podcasts where you talked about your evolution in regard to your perception of Muslims. And I was like, okay, that takes an honest person to say that, to like admit I was wrong. And especially on the right where, you know, the Islamophobia, which I think is the product of brainwashing, is still very much prominent, right? And then the final thing that happened was you went on, I think it was Breaking Points, you were talking to Sagar and Jetty. This is before the election. You were in support of Donald Trump at the time, but Sagar asked you, you know, you're against invading Iran or going to war with Iran. What would you do if Trump gets elected and he goes to war with Iran? You just straight up said, I will no longer support him and I'll be vocal about it. And I'm like, okay, we'll see. And you made good on that promise. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think for me, I had to sort of re-examine. It takes a lot of humility, I think, when you have a public platform.
And already you can see the tone is set, right? I didn't like your face. But maturity speaks, right? Maturity seeks truth. And that it could sit down as two adults and have conversations. This shit is already dope to me. That's how it started already.
People are always rooting for you to be wrong anyway. And I think it's the reason that so many people hold on to ideas even when they know they're wrong.
Yes.
They just don't want to do the thing and go through the process of change.
But people love it.
Yeah.
People love when you're willing to be honest about what you were incorrect about and that you're willing to recalibrate or evolve on an issue. I know that I'm growing and evolving. I mean, I started working at TYT when I was like 20 years old.
Remember me and Kova was talking about the extended eyelash thing, the little hooks with the eyeliner makeup shit? Anna rocking that shit hella hard.
And so I'm now going to turn 40 in July. So that's 20 years. For me to not change at all would be ridiculous and embarrassing, to be quite frank. Right. And so I'm proud of my changes. I'm open-minded. I'm willing to have conversations with just about anyone as long as I know it's going to be good faith. And we have to find a way to bring the American people together because we are in the fight of our lives. Our government is not representing us. And the only way we can change things is if we're willing to build coalitions and work together on our system of government and making the reforms that we need. We need to get money out of politics. We need to ensure that foreign governments do not have a say on our foreign policy or our domestic policy. If we don't do that, we're screwed. Our country's done. And so
foreign governments and foreign entities haven't say so in U.S. politics.
I'm noticing that there is some growing unity between the left and the right, the anti-war left, anti-war right, who are privy to the fact that our politicians are super corrupt, that they're bought by moneyed interests. And you can't really solve that problem with one group of voters. You really need all hands on deck.
You do. And I think for me, when I started to have these scales fall from my eyes for a second time, by the way, I feel like I sort of graduated to politics. And I was like, oh, I figured this out. Republicans have it right. And the left has it, Democrats have it wrong. And I felt so great about that. I felt like so free and so smart. And so then when I went through this second process and was going, wait a minute, why is genocide sometimes okay? And going, I can't have gotten that wrong. Come on, Republicans. This is obviously what's happening in Gaza is wrong. It's kind of a scary process because then you go, how could I have had this so wrong?
Totally.
How could I have had this so wrong?
It's a scary process because politics has become more than just, oh, this is a group of people I agree with on policies. It turned into, I think, a replacement for religion for some people. It turned into, because think about, the era when everyone went to church or everyone went to temple or mosque, whatever. It's your community, right? These are people that you communicate with. These are people who might have different politics than you, but you share a faith. And as a result, you have exposure to people who have different ideas. But then as people became less and less religious in this country, I think politics or political parties kind of became the church, right? And it's scary to go against your community.
Right. And that's it. You suddenly find yourself in a position where you have to make all new political friends, so to speak.
Exactly, yes.
And then you see what they are capable of, what they are willing to do, how much it is, just as you're describing, not even a religion, a cult. And how quickly I was sort of excommunicated. They tried to, just as if you're leaving a cult, convince me that I was the crazy person for saying something so sensible. Like, hey, killing kids is wrong. We shouldn't do that. Like saying a statement like Brian Mast did about the Palestinians, there's no such thing as an innocent Palestinian, which is what I was tweeting about in particular. Everyone should just have been like, of course, this is a wrong statement from Brian Mast. But they tried to play this psychological game on me where they were gaslighting me.
Like you were in the wrong because you realized that you have a sitting United States congressman wearing the uniform of a foreign country in the halls of Congress, talking about how it's okay to just slaughter an entire group of people, including women, children, elderly people, because of the cult he's in. It is a cult. And
this is not nothing new, right? You could pretty much say since the forming of literacy, there have been nothing but bloodthirsty demons. Go look at the history of it. It's not just Yom Kippur War. It's been going on for decades. Pretty much since the country was formed, they have constantly had this bloodthirst and this hate for the Palestinian people. And I think the reason why is they don't fit that demographic of that land. Think about it for a second. How come everybody in that region have a certain type of phenotype? They have a phenotype look about them. Except for literacy. Don't the people from literacy look like Europeans? The average everyday European? Especially you talk about countries like Poland, like Romania. I don't want to pull up a map again. We had 2 weeks we did map work. I don't want to pull up a map again. But if you look at the surrounding countries, even in Turkey, we know Turkey's to the north, right? The northwest, right? They don't have the same phenotype. This one spot in the middle of all the bullshit, in the middle of all the controversy, in the middle of all the wars, and all the drama, all the bullshit. How come they have a different phenotype than everybody else in that region? They're not from that land. Clearly. Clearly, that's not their land. You want to take another dive at it, another stab at it? Go look up the Bolshevik Wars. Bolshevik with a B. Go look up the Bolshevik Wars they had in Europe. Look who they went down to go hunt. Look who got murdered in the Bolshevik Wars. Look who they specifically attacked. You're gonna hear names like Trotsky. I already did it. I'm telling you, You go take a look at it for yourself.
I mean, what are our values as a country? And the other thing is the fact that you were willing to put everything on the line to speak out against the genocide in Gaza made me realize that you are actually good faith on other political views you have, right? Because I'm pro-choice. That hasn't changed. I mean, I'm definitely not in favor of, late-term abortions happen, but they're very rare. But, I think that there were some laws written in a way that could have been abused, whatever, But my point is, when it came to conservatives who said that they're anti-choice, I was like, they just want to control women. That's all it's about. They don't actually see the fetus as a life. They don't see a zygote as the same as a human life. No, but you do, actually, right? Because you'll see conservatives cheer on what's happening in Gaza and now Lebanon, and then purport to be pro-life.
Yep.
Right.
That was one of the big ones for me where I was going, we're pro-life and you're telling me that there's an exception because you have some heretical theology that's telling you that, all of these rules are of course we should be abiding by this. And of course it's the right thing to do. And God, Jesus Christ. And then they go, but unless it happens in Israel, then it's okay. So I'm like, so there's this random carve out where we can mass murder kids as long as it's in Israel. Why doesn't every mass murderer just go to Israel and just do whatever they want? And then you just go, well, they're chosen. So this land is chosen so they can do whatever they want on this land. That was shocking for me. And it made me go a lot deeper on theology. And gratefully, like my husband is he majored in theology. And so it's been kind of a part of his internal dialogue for a very long time. And I was like, what am I missing here? Like, how did I miss that I was in partnership with these people that you're right? This is not a theology for them. This is a cult. This is a cult.
What's really interesting and something that I've always wanted to ask you about is, do you feel that, I mean, I'm sure, look, I'm seeing the success of your show. So obviously there's a giant portion of conservatives out there in this country who side with you and don't fall under the category that I'm about to describe.
Oh yeah, shout out to Candace for hitting 6 million. I got it turned up. I boosted the speed on it. Yeah, 6 million, dog. From the gutter. From the ground. 6 million.
But do you feel like you were kind of used as a tool earlier in your career?
Absolutely. I know, not feel. It's a fact.
Because when you're critical of, let's say, the Black community, they love it, right? That's when you get a platform and you get all the plaudits and speaking engagements. But once you speak out against what's happening in Gaza, you're not that useful tool anymore.
That was one of the things that was really hard for me to contend with personally, because obviously not to the Daily Wire, we were actually kind of in the midst of the same topic, really, right? So
Elsie, welcome to being a human with your own brain. Nobody ever is going to agree with anybody all the time. It's this new age thought that you have to agree with me because that means you're my friend. No. I'm your friend because I wanted to tell you the truth, regardless if it might sting, right? But I'm telling you because I care. The new ideology is don't tell me the things that benefit me. Be my friend and lie to me. That's the new way to do it. That's the new way to do it. They don't want that the tough conversation, maybe, right? The hard conversation to say, yo, you fucked up. Nah, you just gotta go along, get along, don't say nothing because that's friendship. When we've known that to never be true, right? The homie's gonna look out for you. Homie's supposed to tell you where you slipping up at.
it's like you're talking about a race. You're saying, okay, this thing happened. So they were saying October 7th happened. BLM was saying the George Floyd thing happened. This is going to be the impetus now. And they were doing things that, in my view, still to this day, we're just wrong. I don't care what happened in Minnesota. You don't have the right to go into Target and grab a flat screen TV, right? And so I wanted to do a documentary. I wanted to dive deeper on the topic. And it was round of applause from a Daily Wire. This is amazing. Give her a platform. Well, then I watched virtually the exact same thing, right? Using race as an excuse, saying, oh, well, we have to do this for Jews. You had this event, this event that happened, which was singular. And then they tried to extrapolate it. And I'm going, well, it's still wrong, right?
Right.
The law is the law. Like, morality is morality. Doesn't matter if a Black person does it or if a Jewish person does it. You don't get to rob and steal Palestinian homes.
Exactly.
And suddenly it was, you're an anti-Semite. You deserve to have nothing. You shouldn't even be allowed to travel to Australia because you are akin to Adolf Hitler.
That's
the
crazy.
Same people that gave me the platform. And so it was a very tough pill to swallow.
So Australia banned you after you said that it's a genocide?
Yeah, that was the beginning of I was temporarily banned for ads from YouTube because they are organized online and started mass reporting my new channel. I got banned from Australia, got fired from the Daily Wire. They started putting pressure, Ben Shapiro in particular, on, this is the Zionist lobby. It's not just in America, it's global.
Yeah.
And so I went from being a rock star to suddenly she is Adolf Hitler and deserves nothing. And
I don't know if y'all see the concept that's going on with ideology behind it, right? Remove literacy and let's put that type of behavior on, let's say India. Let's say India was behaving that way. You know how much uproar there would be on the planet? You know how many UN council meetings they would have to tell India how fucked up they are? But because it's literacy, they're above reproach. And the reason why they're above reproach on whatever they fuck they choose to do and who they do it to, and you can't say shit about it, is because they will willingly just tell you, we I think we're back. All right, we're back. Looks like we're back. We're back. Are we back? Did it unfreeze? Did it unfreeze? Are we back? We're back. Still frozen? Am I still frozen? We back? All right, cool. Fucking stream, y'all, bro. Fuck. They use the Holocaust as their reasoning that they could do what the fuck they want to do and they're above reproach. They actually get reparations from the US. Your hard-earned tax dollars go over there to fund their fuckery. I'm not sure if y'all know about this shit, but if you didn't know, now you know. They could do whatever they want, however they want, to whoever they want. They call themselves America's greatest ally. How? How? Because they're the only democratic representation in the region? Really? That's how? Did you not steal uranium from America? About 600 pounds of it? Didn't that 600 pounds not show up in literacy all of a sudden? When they jacked it from Pennsylvania? Do you not remember the USS Liberty? That clearly was flying US flags? Clear as day? Because the region was hot. It was known that they were in the region flying the US flag. Got it. Just tell me any fucking thing and I'm supposed to believe it. Got it.
her life because she has a moral principle. So you kind of look and you go, well, I have two options here. I can play the game.
Yeah.
And do like the majority of people do and just look the other way and say, oh, I don't really care about what's happening overseas.
Go along to get along.
Go along, get along.
Mhm.
Or you take a bold stand and you say, I'll rebuild it because I don't want to have a house that's made because I'm silent on issues that actually impact my soul. I want to get into heaven.
Okay. I mean, there's that for sure. But on top of that, I don't think people who go along to get along realize they're going to get caught. Because audiences aren't stupid. And we might be in an environment where you can get away with either being silent or providing ridiculous excuses for why you're not speaking out against what's really going on or why you're not, willing to tell the truth about what's going on.
I'm bending that eyeliner. That shit's flawed.
Eventually, there's going to be enough videos of dead children. Eventually, when it comes to the war in Iran, the gas prices and the inflation is going to be so bad that you're going to lose people and people are going to wake up to what the reality is. And when they are personally harmed, when their own household is personally harmed by these policies that, the government pursues based on moneyed interests or foreign pressure, Well, they're going to lose support from the people. And what do? The first thing they do is they engage in intimidation tactics, censorship. The more the, pro-Israel crowd and the Zionists attempt to censor people and intimidate them, the more counterproductive they're being for their own cause.
Right, but
it wakes people up.
They don't think long term. They're always thinking short term and what's right in front of them. They're not trying to make friends. They're trying to terrify people. They operate exactly like a mafia. Who would you say on the left of people that maybe like were your heroes, were you shocked didn't take the moral position?
I don't talk about him that often because it really does break my heart. He was the best reporter after the 2008 economic collapse. Matt Taibbi. He hasn't taken the wrong position. He's just decided to be silent for whatever reason. And that kind of breaks my heart because he's such an amazing journalist and reporter. And I thought that he would be an important voice in exposing the truth to people. But for whatever reason, he just decided to remain silent. And when people kind of started to nudge him about it, he continued to be silent and then defensive. And I'm like, there's something going on. And I'm also in a different place in my life where I don't feel the need to like just go out of my way to attack people. Like I used to be an attack dog a little bit. So I'm not like going out of my way to attack him or anything. I'm just disappointed. And so I just note it for the record and then I move on to people I can trust.
Yeah, so much of that, I think especially for me, like obviously the Charlie Kirk assassination.
Yeah, I bet.
Was just, I will never see politics the same. I'm like, what did that man live for?
Yeah,
he platformed all of you, me, everyone. I just thought there would be an army of people assembled. And I thought we'd have a truth in a week. This man is like the reason Donald Trump is in office. He was like brothers with Donald Trump too. Like, so could you imagine the shock that I have gone through? Like Kash Patel, who was the person writing hardcore for Kash Patel.
Kash Patel, there's something going on with that brother. I don't know what is going on with him, but there's something very strange about him. I mean, it could just be a lack of competence.
No.
Pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
That's it. That's what's going on with him. That's it. None crazy. None outlandish. Simple shit.
This nigga's scared.
Easy day. Kash Patel is a fucking worm. He is trash.
For the role that he's in. But when you consider the fact that he's our FBI director still, when you consider the fact that we have depleted 80% of our missile interceptors because we've given military aid to Israel, Ukraine, we're currently using interceptors, in this war against Iran. I'm worried about our national security. Our national security, and I'm not one of these like, ooh, I'm going to scare everybody. I'm not a scaremonger. And I never bought into national security threats or that narrative from the government when it came to manufacturing consent for wars that we got involved in. But right now, when you just look at the facts, our military capability is weakened. We don't have the manufacturing capacity that Iran has, for instance. Like they build $5,000 drones real quick. We have an entire corrupt system where these defense contractors, first of all, we don't have like the industrial base and the manufacturing capacity to build these weapons as quickly as we would need. Okay. And then on top of that, just because we're spending an arm and a leg on our Pentagon, on our defense budget, doesn't mean that we're getting our money's worth.
No, we're sending it overseas.
We're sending it overseas. And on top of that, we're spending more than we need to on the weaponry that we purchase, the defense capabilities we purchase from these private defense contractors.
That's the kickbacks.
Yeah,
that's the entire neocon class.
Exactly.
And that's the Meghan McCains of the world who sit up there, have accomplished absolutely nothing in their lives, but just sit up there and go, war,
Totally.
because my trust fund needs to grow, and have the audacity to lecture us.
I have a funny story about Meghan McCain.
I am amazed that she has the audacity to ever speak, but my daddy, that's her whole position in life. My daddy's never done literally anything.
I've never met
my daddy.
I've never met a woman in the media space or political space who's less intellectually curious.
Most
than Meghan
unimpressive.
McCain. She used to host a show called Take Part Live. And at this time, she and I knew each other. And so I would fill in when one of the hosts was out. But we interacted. And I remember one time they called me in to be a guest on the panel. And they were going to talk about, this is during the Obama administration, they were going to talk about Obama's expansion of drone use in, the Middle East. And a lot of innocent people were getting killed, a lot of collateral damage. And people were very critical about that. And so she just had to read an article so she would know what the story is as we talk about it on the show. She couldn't be bothered to read the article. Yeah. She had no interest at all. I'm like, why are you even in this space? What are you doing?
You could see that even when she was on The View.
Oh, totally.
She just had nothing to add that was intellectual or that looked like she maybe studied. She just comes across like they had a butler who did her homework. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that she reads very few books. There's just something about her. And yet she has this attitude and this sense of this arrogance. Well, my daddy, and has no idea what the general viewpoint is of her father. Like too. That's also something. It's like she thinks like her dad is some like very well-liked politician. No, actually on the right or on the left, was your father very well-liked, or is he very respected? And I think people chose this sort of respectful silence, obviously, when he passed away. And for me, a moment where I really saw what she was when she used her father's funeral to dunk on Trump. Like,
I don't remember that.
Oh gosh, the speech. Yeah. My dad would say that this country was always great because, Trump said, make America great again.
That's right. I do remember that now.
And I just thought to myself, what is your life? Like, do you have a real life? If you think that I would waste one sentence, one breath towards an enemy when my father
the funeral,
at the funeral, it's like, are you kidding me? You're trying to dunk a political. It's just, it was to me so crass. And so it's the arrogance that goes with it when we know you've worked for nothing in your life and you have had everything handed to you and you actually don't have any moral principle outside of more war.
Yeah.
And the amount of people who are dying, it's the way these people speak to us, and I'm saying left and right, the way they speak to us when they call us evil, psychopathic,
when we're worried about innocent people getting killed, like that, at the heart of it is that we find it immoral, just like I did on October 7th. I find it immoral when civilians are targeted and killed. So I was not ever one of those people who cheered on what happened on October 7th.
Right.
Never. I never would. That goes against who I am as a human being. I value human life, and I don't think civilians should be targeted for any reason. Anytime they are, the person doing the targeting, the group doing the targeting is in the wrong, period.
That's it.
Cuzzo, due to the history of people sitting in that seat, I do not want anybody that I think have a acute moral compass to sit in that seat. I don't want Thomas Massey sitting in that seat. I don't want Candace sitting in that seat. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. I didn't want him sitting in that seat either. Ro Khanna, don't want him sitting in that seat. That seat has a bad reputation, dog. They literally knocked off JFK. They don't care about knocking these people off, dog. They don't care. Play ball with the Zionist regime, or we'll knock you off. Y'all need to take a stop, a detour sometimes, and go back and look at the Kennedy shit. Go look at the Kennedy shit what Kennedy was fighting against. He wanted smoke. And because he wanted smoke, he got smoked. Because he wasn't a part of their gang and their agenda shit. Not saying Kennedy was clean at all, because he wasn't. But he had enough morals. His compass was acute enough. It might not have been true north, but it was north-ish. But he wanted smoke. And they gave him smoke. The ultimate smoke. G Honda, what up? Yo, LC. FBI. Mafia. Murder Inc. All involved. He was not. He wasn't playing the games with them boys. Take a detour one day. One day while you're driving in your car, just take a quick detour.
So when you now have upward of 75,000 people killed in Gaza, and you mention that to a Israel firster or a Zionist, and they respond to you immediately by saying, what about October 7th? What that communicates to me is you do have a problem with civilian lives being lost on a particular side. But civilian lives mean nothing to you. At first I thought when it comes to the Palestinians, but no. I feel like human life doesn't matter to them at all unless we're talking about a Jewish Zionist. Because if you're a Jewish person, like Dave Smith, for instance,
they'll kill you too.
But you're not a Zionist? They couldn't care less. You're right. They could not care less. And I just find that so immoral. But they turn around and they try to make us look like we're the immoral ones.
Then we not hear Two-Face the other night on my I Hate Tucker Carlson show. Did we not see Two-Face bring up this same fucking argument? Did we not hear bitch ass BB bring up the same argument? October 7, October 7, October 7. when there's heaps and mounds of proof and mountains of evidence saying that they knew it was coming? When there's video evidence of watching Hamas do training, the same training that they did is the same way they executed the shit. Even Israeli people in position said that they had the information and gave the information upline. People in high positions in literacy, intel, defense, sent the information upline. It was so much information, dog. The cell phones that were used were bugged. And when they started motion, when they got into motion, they turned their cell phones on so they could communicate. They didn't know them cell phones were bugged. But all them cell phones started getting active. And literacy picked it up. They picked up all that communication, all that GPS and data, everything. They picked all of it up and didn't do a fucking thing about it. Furthermore, it took them the longest time to react to it. Now, one more question I want you to ask yourself. Who funded Hamas? Who built Hamas?
Because we have a problem when we're speaking out about this.
That's exactly right. And you understand even within the Jewish population, and that's why I've done so much. I've made such an effort over the last year to wake up Jewish Americans to this, right?
Yes.
Because I view them as you were brainwashed. This is what you think. I mean, this is the whole reason they started the program of birthright. And when the ADL guy got caught like out of private call saying that, like, we need to kind of come up with something. We're losing Gen Z. We got to do like we did when we established that program for birthright. And this is why Max Blumenthal has done such incredible work, because he went on birthright and he spoke about what that
Shout out to Max Blumenthal. He's a dog. 4-star in the town square. Big salute, G. You already know what to do.
They're brainwashing them so young, right? We are all subject to brainwashing. That is the most important thing that I think I have come out of learning is like, how did I get brainwashed? I thought the same thing. I was watching the Holocaust movies. All of that is a part of your growing up, your brainwashing experience, what you're learning in the classroom, who is the victim, and who do you have to defend, who is being oppressed.
We're back. All right, it looks like we're back. There's a company that made a bunch of school books for America. McGraw-Hill. The name is McGraw-Hill. Y'all remember them textbooks? What if I told you those textbooks were designed by a Mossad agent? What if I tell you those textbooks were made by a Mossad agent? And I know the agent's name also. I know the agent name who bought McGraw-Hill. And y'all know the name too. Y'all know the name of this person also. Y'all just don't know that's something that he did. When we talk about the brainwashing, what's put into the school books, if the ops are controlling the information that you're getting fed, then you know the ops not going to give you nothing for real, no truth. All they're going to do is give you more programming. The same way people now today want to complain about the big six in media. Who they owned by? Who they owned by? Zionists. Remember a couple of shows ago, more than a couple of shows ago, this show was called We Need to Be Anti-Zionist and Pro-Jew. I had a whole show about it. Separating the two. I clearly separate the two. Especially when you go back in the day and look at how much the tele-evangelicals were actually Christian Zionists. And it has not stopped. Now, the evangelicals that came on the TV, and they love to quote, he who blesses literacy, right, will be blessed. And he who curses literacy will be cursed. They love that scripture. Love that scripture. They love to throw that in your face. Do you think those people in the Bible back then look like the people that inhabits literacy right now? Let's be honest and let's just think critically for a little bit. There's no way they could be the same people, right? Programming to the point where you believe in all the atrocities that happen to them, but you would never hear about the atrocities they put upon the world. You would never hear how many times they blatantly knocked off Palestinians by the hundreds and by the thousands. There is no two-nation state with them. There is no two people living in one land with them. They want it all. I showed you the Greater Israel Project. I show you the Greater Israel map already. I'm not playing. I'm going to keep giving you these gems, and it's upon you. It's incumbent upon you, yourself, your own eyes, your own brain, your own ears, to look a little bit further. I'm not going to drag you to the fucking bucket and make you drink. No. The same way I seek it out. The same way I go out and get this information. I'm not going to give you all the information. Just that simple. But the Mossad agent that bought McGraw-Hill is none other than Ghislaine Maxwell's daddy. Yep. The same one who used to hang out with Epstein. Yep. The same one who pushed Ghislaine on Epstein to become his homie, his confidant, his ace spoon coon. Yeah, same guy. So if Mossad owned the textbooks in America, you think they really gave you some information? Ghislaine Maxwell daddy owned the textbooks in America. Later on, the company got bought by somebody else, and then the company got released later, or whatever the case is. A fucking daddy. The one who got the Epstein money. The one who got a whole bunch of money when he passed away. All of a sudden, Epstein came into a bunch of money when Maxwell passed away. Allegedly.
This sort of trigger mechanism that is within all of us. It's buried within us from the time that we're kids, and we don't realize it because we're just taking in so much media. We're listening to our teachers, and then we're like, October 7th happens, and then they go, remember all that stuff? Like, this is now, you have to understand what they're going to do next. Think about what happened. You don't want another Holocaust.
It's like priming you to be accepting of something that just goes against your core principles.
And for Jewish Americans too. So you can understand why they reacted the way that they did right away.
Of course.
Yeah. They're going to get that 20 times worse. It's going to be your stories about your grandma and your book. You go to temple, you go to synagogue, and you're going to have those presets. And then it went too far. And a lot of them snapped out of it. And now I get Jewish people emailing me. Being like, I don't know what this is. I don't know why I'm being told I have to defend Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know why I'm being told I have to defend Bibi Netanyahu. So
can we just address how brazenly obvious, like, okay, when every pro-Israel media figure comes out at the same time and basically says, oh, there's no big deal with the Epstein files, they shouldn't be released. You're giving it away. Like, you're giving it away. Like, you guys are too obvious. And what I'm wondering is, was the propaganda always this bad? Or is it that we're just a lot more awake now because there's diversified independent media? People are kind of breaking out of their bubble, so it's harder to lie to us. So their like propaganda muscle has atrophied to some extent.
So well said.
Right?
I think it's the latter. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we are more awake than we've ever been. There's independent media. And it's also, like you said earlier, they can't help themselves. So the entire strategy of a Daily Wire, try to destroy me, actually woke a lot of people up. It's like, my goodness, Candace was going around Judeo-Christian, doing all the things. She worked at Prager. You want me to believe that overnight Candace Owens became an anti-Semite?
For
Adolf
real,
Hitler?
though. I know.
She was working with Ben Shapiro and Marisha Straight and Dennis Prager. And they're like, yeah, no, it's crazy how it happened. She fell and bumped her head and now she's Adolf Hitler. And that it's the whiplash. It's too fast.
Yeah.
People go, okay, you had me. Maybe you had me at Nick Fuentes. You know, this is like people go, okay, he was done early. He's 18. We didn't know who he was. But they just start moving, and then you're going, it's Candace Owens. Oh no, Tucker Carlson bumped his head and became Adolf Hitler.
Right.
It becomes way too, and then you go, okay, let me go back and really see what's happening
Totally,
here.
because I mean, look, Nick Fuentes' rhetoric is nowhere close to Tucker Carlson's rhetoric. Nowhere close to it.
They're all in the same box.
Right, but they're lumped together. And to me, this isn't really about hatred toward Jewish people, which I find immoral, just like I would find hatred toward Muslims or hatred toward Christians. Like, hating any group of people simply based on their identity is wrong. I've always been...
Correct. Absolutely correct. But this country has a reputation. Remember, when the towers fell, that tragedy, that absolute tragedy, thousands of people knocked off. Everybody in America was cool with blacks because now they had a whole new enemy. They wanted to hurt. They wanted to beat up on Arabs and people who practice Islam that wasn't American Islam, right? It's not Kofa type of Islam, right? But if you had the phenotype and the turbans, he was America's #1 enemy. Majority of people never heard the name Bin Laden. I bet you a fat man to a skinny man. 9.8 out of 10 people never heard the fucking name Bin Laden. After 9/11, the world knew who Bin Laden was. Prime OG, what up? Big respect, G, big salute. You know what it is.
That. Yeah. But yeah, I just seems like I forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, a lot of people, I think they were just kind of part of this algorithmic bubble.
Yes.
Where they're only exposed to one thing. And when it came to the Muslim population, I think that the dehumanization was seen in the media across the board. And that brainwashing worked for a really long time. I mean, it definitely convinced Americans to support wars that we shouldn't have supported.
Going back to those presets when we're arguing 9/11.
Yep.
It was so raw. It was so scary. The way they made us stand up at 9/11 every day, the time in school, moment of silence for what the Muslims did to us. Think about like that's kind of. So I was just like, Muslims, like this is just how they live. This is what they do, and didn't register to me as Islamophobia. I just thought I'm educated. It's a token of your education to understand how despicable Muslims are.
I remember that. I remember that so well. I remember the unfair attacks against Muslims. By the way, I mean there are different Muslim beliefs like sects and whatever, but everything.
What did I just say? Did I not just say this? Did I not just say this? And y'all know me. I barely watch these videos. I take them at face value a lot of the time.
Just lumped together. Muslims bad. And this is going to be used as a justification for us to enrich defense contractors. They profit off war. right now, there's a town in Alabama where they make rockets and military weaponry, and it's booming all of a sudden because of the war against Iran. And it's funny listening to an interview of like one of the workers there, because they're able to like compartmentalize the economic boom they're experiencing from what it's feeding into.
Is it Huntsville, Alabama? I think it's Huntsville, Alabama she's talking about. But let me plug you into something else. Remember them UFO scientists that went missing? That one girl, there's one specific lady out of the whole bunch. They said she self-deleted herself, right? She had mental issues or whatever the case is. Then her daddy said scientists died too, whatever the case is. She used to work at in Alabama, down in them facilities. She was the one who found the groundbreaking research on anti-gravity. Exactly. I believe it's Huntsville. I want to say it's Huntsville, Alabama. That's where they was at. Matter of fact, 2 scientists, 2 UFO super scientists, brainiacs went missing out of that area. They both was women. One was a doctor. I think her name was something. Is either Chang or it's Lee. No, I'm not being a racist. I think that's what her name was. And I can't remember the other girl's name. She did anti-gravity, and the other lady did. What was she studying? What was the other lady studying? Was it also anti-gravity? Damn, I can't remember what she was studying. T, what's up? Yeah. 2 scientists. With all the UFO scientists missing, look at that plug. Y'all think this shit's so separated all the time, and I'm telling you, these are like an octopus. It's like a spider web. There's a lot of cross connection, a lot of main lines in it. That's what I look for all the time. I look for the connection pieces into things. Where these things connected at. Robert Maxwell, McGraw-Hill, Mossad, Epstein, Ghislaine. They named not really Maxwell. They got citizenship in 5 countries type shit.
Mm-hmm. And so when you think about how people's livelihoods get wrapped up into questions of peace and war, when you consider the fact that our media apparatus, especially when it comes to legacy media or corporate media, is very much part of the propaganda campaigns to, in my opinion, just trick Americans into supporting things that actually work against their own interests. All of that stuff started to kind of get chipped away at by independent media and people being willing to honestly critique their own side. There aren't a lot of people in the media who are willing to do that, just a handful that I can think of, but I think that woke a lot of people up. I really did. I really do think it did.
And the whiplash of, Tucker Carlson was fine for Fox News and CNN and everything. And then all of a sudden, no, Tucker Carlson, very, very bad. You can't listen. And we're starting to notice this pattern that it's the same issue that suddenly gets these people who are welcomed, loved by the mainstream, adored by the mainstream, and then suddenly thrust to the side and having not just their livelihoods impacted, but also our families. I was watching this attack on your husband. Like my husband's being attacked.
These are 2 very feminine women. They are very, very feminine, very, very girly. I just look at the physical mannerism, look at their physical behaviors. Very, very feminine. Shout out to femininity. Femininity rocks. And submission is sexy.
Your husband's being attacked.
Yep.
And by the way, kudos for you for just coming back. Thank you. Yes, it is my husband. He's hot. I'm glad you found him.
I mean,
right. He's hot. Thank you. But what actually sits at the center of that? Let's now try to get and harass Anna Kasparian's husband. Why do you think that became now their prime motivator?
Well, because I don't want to say I'm unbreakable, but I am kind of unbreakable. Like I'm the kind of person who does not respond well to others telling me what I can and can't think or what I can and can't say. So I might fall prey to brainwashing and propaganda. We're all susceptible to that. However, when you're straight up telling me you're not allowed to think that, you're not allowed to say that, I just get very irritable and I double down. It's like not the way to persuade me to think otherwise, right? And so, I mean, they've done some damage to me financially. I got fired from a job that I really, like a side job where I was doing investigative reporting on California-based stories, because there's a lot going down in California that I think people need to be aware about to make smarter decisions when they vote. So even though that was one of the more difficult jobs, like I was writing features, like 2,000-word pieces that were like original reporting. It was hard. It was very time consuming, but I loved that job so much. They took it from me. I guess there was one board member at the company that didn't like my commentary. I called Jonathan Conriquez, who's an IDF propagandist. He's usually on like Piers Morgan's show and whatever. I was on with him and I called him a terrorist because he's a terrorist. And that was it. Like that was what got me fired. Whatever, but I'll take it. I want to be free. I don't want to work for this is not a news organization if you guys are going to censor people on what they can and can't say on what's going down in the Middle East right now. So, okay, fine. You took that from me. But once they realized that like taking things away from me wasn't working, once they realized like TYT is not going to fire her, they're like, okay, what else can we do? And they immediately move on to collective punishment. They are big believers in the ideology of collective punishment. So we're going to go after her family. We're going to go after her husband, who's a freaking PE teacher, who is not political. By the way, after they did go after him, this is the second time. First time they did it, suddenly my husband's asking me questions about what's happening in Gaza. Suddenly he's listening to my show. And I'm like, oh, you never, because he's not a political person at all. I'm like, why are you asking me questions suddenly? Why are you listening to the show regularly? He's like, because they made me want to know what's going on.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like their efforts in attacking people, intimidating people, censoring people is so counterproductive, but they're too stupid to realize it.
Right. All right, you guys, are you working hard every day, but somehow it still feels like you're required for people to hurt? I wake up looking to try to hurt me. They will attack Zionists.
That's amazing.
There was this whole thread where Laura Loomer was going after like my lawyers, and she's like, "This side, okay." So are you BDS now? Like, you know what I mean? Are you saying like that I should not work in any capacity with Zionists? That's literally boycott, divest, and sanction. So I'm turning Zionists into promoters of BDS, which is incredible. They don't even, like I said, there's no thought process. It's just attack. It's like, I have to spend money with a lawyer, okay? There are millions of lawyers. They're all over. They're a dime a dozen over here. If you want to attack a lawyer for getting paid, you're doing the work of actually what people think people should boycott, divest away from Zionists in general. And so I'm like, okay, this is not a big deal to me, but there is a desperation. There's something right now that feels very fragile. They're getting so increasingly desperate. Like they are. We're going after people's husbands. We're going after people's lawyers. We will try to just harass you. And it's obviously not working at all.
It's not working.
I'm like you. I just dig my feet in even more. And I'm like, let's suit up for battle. Let's do this thing. I am not going to be broken by this. You guys have tried so much. But right now, I mean, the radical nature of Trump's tweets right now.
Oh my gosh.
They're unhinged. And I used to enjoy, they used to be pithy, one sentence, and hit at some modicum of truth, like only Rosie O'Donnell. That is just funny to people because it's like he's saying basically Rosie O'Donnell. This is not that. This is like the rantings of a madman. I don't have time to read all of this. And at its core, it's just he's being instructed to attack people who don't support Israel.
It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
What are we getting close to?
Yeah.
That's my question. What are we getting close to? If they don't feel like they're in control right now. They feel like an animal backed into a corner that's fighting and just lashing.
Well, it's funny because they are in control of levers of power, right? And that's definitely scary. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want to minimize that. But at the same time, they are no longer in control of the narrative. And Americans are waking up to just how much our government has been, I mean, for lack of a better word, infiltrated by people who are much more concerned with foreign policy that benefits Israel above and beyond, what's better for the American people. This war against Iran doesn't benefit us in any way, shape, or form.
Pause for the cause. Pause for the cause.
I need money.
Shout out to Mix for sending 5 of those gifts out there. When you get your gift, make sure you tell Mix, thank you, Mix. You know what you get? You get the joke.
I told you, I'm a man of my word. Where's the Italian?
Appreciate the love and the support as usual. Thank you. Always supporting the channel, always showing love to the gang. You put your money where your mouth is, and I appreciate all of it. Thank you so much.
And we went into it with no strategy, no plan.
No support for the people.
Exactly. No support Trump never even thought he needed to make his case to the American people. So we went into it with it being an incredibly unpopular war. The fact that he didn't even consider that Iran would take control of the Strait of Hormuz, thus creating a lot of economic pain for the globe. Like, think about all of our allies right now, longtime allies who are so furious with us Germany recently came out and had some, strong words against the United States. India has been irritated with us because of first Trump's Liberation Day tariffs, which also seem pretty ham-handed. And I'm saying that as someone who's supportive of targeted tariffs and think, they can work in bringing some jobs back to the United States. But the way he did it made a lot of enemies. Again, I go back to the issue of our, military being weakened because we've given so many weapons away. We've used so many weapons and we've depleted 80% of our missile interceptors. I just feel for the first time that we are not safe. But the thing that gives me a little bit of relief is knowing that people on the left and the right are waking up to it. That gives me hope. If it weren't for that, honestly, I would definitely be 100% black-pilled. I would be a total doomer and I would see no hope for the future.
You know what gives me hope? I'm going to be honest with you. What gives me hope is that this country is a gun-toting motherfucker. That's what gives me hope. That's what gives me hope. The population in America is armed. You know what gives me hope? The ignorance of Americans. You know what gives me hope? Blind loyalty of Americans. You know what gives me hope? Americans like the way that they live. They don't want their rights infringed upon. They don't want to see boats from China and boats from North Korea and Russian boats pushing up on the coast of Virginia and Florida and California and Washington, New York, Maine. I put my last dollar on American pride, American ignorance, and America's love for their constitutional rights. That's what I put my faith in. This is a gun-toting fucking country. Nothing to play with. Nothing to play with. All this hatred for blacks, all those, we don't like them, the Mexicans crushing the border. We don't want them Canadians coming in town. All that shit goes out the fucking door if somebody comes to this land and tries to violate. They don't see the other violations because we're programmed to accept Lyrcy's bullshit and back Lyrcy and provide help to Lyrcy because they so fucking destitute. They so destitute that they could start fucking wars at any time in their region. That's how destitute they are. This is what's stopping right now. People are seeing Lyrcy for what the fuck it is. The brainwashing is failing. And you know why it's failing? Because there's no way you could have the population of this country in the mental, emotional state that they are in, with sufferation at the gas pump and at the grocery stores, and think that that's going to be okay with any population. I don't give a fuck who it is. It could be America, Trinidad, India, Pakistan, France, Germany, Poland, Romania, Russia. They not jacking that shit. The difference is, this is a gun-toting country, strapped to the teeth. And I know America refuses to bow the knee to anybody else pushing up on these shores. Hence the reason why America goes over there and fixes business outside of this country. Before you come over here, we'll go over there. Ignorance could be a great thing sometimes. Blind faith, blind loyalty, blind pride could be a good thing sometimes. It could be a useful tool sometimes. But people are absolutely waking up. When the security factor and the security level of people's jobs and the dollar not stretching as far as it's supposed to stretch, and and your grocery bill high, your gas is high. You paying gas to go to work to get the same paycheck. They still have to stretch this money out. People are not happy about that shit, dog. This war shit going on right now, extremely unpopular. People are confused, flabbergasted, flummoxed, brain all fucked up because they're suffering while they watch a whole nother country receive maximum fucking benefits. And they can't even put 2 and 2 together. They can't rub nickels together to get down the road. Now you tell me what country is okay with that? What population would be okay with that? Name them. Name them. So stop being vanilla and blackout. All right, fine.
But the people are waking up.
Right.
And so the fact that the individuals you're referring to who are backed into a corner don't have control of the narrative, that's why they're backed into the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what to do. So they're lashing out and attacking family members, but it's only helping our cause when they do that. Because people see it and they're just like, ew, this is disgusting behavior. Why are you going after a PE teacher who never said anything about Israel at all, you know? And anything I've said about Israel is not anti-Semitic. Israel has carried out a genocide, continues to carry out a genocide in Gaza. They were occupying 53% of the territory. Now they're occupying 64%. Just last night, I read an article about how they quietly redrew the map of the area of Gaza that they're going to occupy. So from 53% to 64%. Where are all those Palestinians going to go? How many?
Did I not show y'all the map? Did I not show y'all the new Israel map? The Greater Israel Project? I showed it all. I showed it to you. One day, y'all gonna walk in this motherfucker and say Trin did put us onto this shit a while ago. One day, motherfuckers gonna come in here and say, I heard this over there by FDNHT. Trin been talked about this. Trin been said that. Trin been putting these gems out here for us. One day, y'all will come into this motherfucker and salute. I'm not sitting here wasting my fucking time talking about fucking ass and tits all the time. We have shows for that. We have shows where we play game night and shows to be funny. When I come in here and you see me walking the town square with that fucking torch, y'all know what fucking time it is. I'm not here to fucking rub elbows and kiss babies and fucking wave. No, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, dog. You could fucking hate me, but I tell you what, you gonna fucking respect me, dog. I don't come in here with bullshit. I give y'all gems and fucking keys so you can open fucking locks to your fucking mind. So I could put you on the road of learning and comprehension to certain things that's going on around you. And motherfuckers so stupid, they sit here and be like, that don't affect me. That don't got nothing to do with me. Not even seeing the long play of what the fuck is going on. The only people suffering is the middle class and the poor people, dog. Wealth disparagement. Technocrats. Feudalism. I gave you all these fucking terms for a reason. I gave you Robert Maxwell. I give y'all these things, bro, because I care deeply. But show me you don't give a fuck, I promise you I'll show you how much the fuck I give. I'll come up in this bitch and be waffling all fucking 2 hours of straight waffling. We're gonna talk about fucking cleaning products and what's eco-friendly. We're gonna talk about fucking parrots and conures. We're gonna talk about Kanye West and his half-naked wife. Fluff and bullshit. Gossip and fucking drama. There's channels for that. I know a bunch of them. When I'm not on this shit, we on fun shit, cool shit, crazy shit, dating shit. You get a mixed bag over here, dog. And I see that y'all appreciate because y'all keep pulling back up to the town square. So big salute to the supporters, dog. I fucks with y'all. And y'all know I fucks with y'all a long way. I even fuck with the shadow watchers. Big salute to them. G, they doing their thing out here in these streets.
Refugee crises have we experienced because Israel wants to pursue its border expansion project.
Mhm.
And so when I hear people like that Tommy Robinson guy whining about like, oh, the Islamification of the UK, these Muslims are so bad and so dangerous. You are supportive of Israel. So unless you wake up and tell the truth about what's actually happening and what's causing these mass migration events, how about you shut up?
I always say that. I'm like, and where do you think these migrants are coming from? Do you think
Exactly.
they wanted to be here, or are they being forced out of their homes? And so they can't connect the dot there.
Yeah.
It's, oh, we have a Muslim problem. But no, we have an Israel never-ending war problem.
Exactly.
And it's then, of course, these people have to go somewhere if we're just going to take their land.
Look at Lebanon now.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just going to take southern Lebanon. And then
In the middle of a ceasefire. Iran said, leave Lebanon alone. Lirsi play fucking dumb and stupid and want to push back against it, acting like Hezbollah in Lebanon wasn't a part of the fucking deal. That was a part of the fucking deal. That's why it's hard for people to make deals with untrustworthy people. Newest 4-star in the town square. Big salute, Kofa, my G. What up? Great fucking show the other night, bro. Everybody shouting that show out so far. Big salute to you, bro. Pulling up and giving out that great content as usual, my boy.
by the way, they've begun evacuating villages north of the Litani River, meaning, oh no, it's not just southern Lebanon. And so when people fearmonger about groups like Hezbollah, for instance, which is supported by Iran, you got to understand why Hezbollah exists in the first place. Hezbollah formed in the 1980s after Israel invaded southern Lebanon.
Yep.
So like, let me ask our red-blooded Americans right now, if Mexico invaded, one of our southern border states, are we just going to sit back and take it? Or is there going to be a resistance group, right? Now, we have a military, we have a government that would prevent that from happening. But let's say a foreign country turned our government into a puppet of theirs and they cared less about protecting the American people in our territory, which I think is the case in Lebanon. There would be a resistance group.
Of course there would be.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always said to people, it's like they took their homes. They just woke up one day and said, I don't care if you've lived here for centuries. You just got to go.
Yes.
We're now giving your land and you're not going to get any money. Like you're at gunpoint. You just got to leave your house.
I can't imagine.
It's weird to me that people don't understand that if you keep empowering something that is that immoral, right? Something that believes that genocide is their right, that it's their birthright to mass murder children who don't see you as having a human soul. How do you not comprehend that chicken will eventually come home to roost?
100%. I mean, I think Christians are waking up to it because of the abuse Christians are dealing with in Lebanon, in Jerusalem. It's interesting because after World War I,
y'all must have forgot. As Christians all through that damn region. There's something psychologically twisted in the mind of a lot of people when they hear about these regions. They automatically think Muslim, Islam, extremists. Nobody ever talks about the Christians in that region. There's a fuck ton of them. An ass load of the motherfuckers, G. From Iran all the way to Turkey. And I comprehend why people don't think about it in that way. I completely get it. When you see the leadership of these countries, they wear their turbans. They wear their garb. A lot of their government policies are steeped into the culture, which is steeped into their religious beliefs. I completely get it. But at some point, we got to stop being ignorant to certain natural, normal things. At some point, we need to pick up a book. At some point, we need to use Google to search and learn things other than searching, did Wolseng Pangi have BBL surgery? Is Brittany Renner single? Mature pogs, Asian pogs. You got the tool right there in your hand. You carry it with you every day. You sit down at work, computer dead in your face. We have to use the same tools that they use to abuse, manipulate, and program us with their propaganda and their fuckery for our own benefit at some point. You don't Google Meg Thee Stallion nip slip. Stop it. If you want to, completely fine. I've done it too. But I also spend my time wisely using these tools and these mediums to learn. Because at the end of the day, your ignorance will be your own destruction and your own downfall.
Because of the Armenian genocide that was carried out by the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Turks, Armenians became, they fled. Many went to Syria. They were forced to do a death march, as my great-grandmother was, and she survived it, but my great-grandfather didn't. This is on my dad's side. They killed him, and so she had to do that death march that she survived with her children in tow, including and had to flee again. But I'm going to look into the camera right now. Do not trust him. He's putting out statements right now about oh, we should really...
Look how feminine she is. Look how girly she is. Yo, can we punch in some ones for these feminine ladies and say it from the top of the hills of Mount Zion that femininity is fine as fuck? And say it loud too. For these rough bearded bitches that we don't fucking want them. These masculine ass fucking hoes, not interested. Keep it. I like soft, nice women. Straight. Everybody punch in the chat femininity right now. Punch it in the fucking chat. Femininity. Say it loud from the hills of Mount Zion. Claim it to be true. Submission is sexy. We promote femininity.
These are what we are dealing with in media are the sons and the daughters of those terrorists. Make no mistake. I mean, this
crazy,
is
yeah.
The Emanuel family being one of them. Rahm Emanuel, Ari Emanuel. How much power does that family have?
Do not trust that man.
But
Democrats. I'm going to look into the camera right now. Do not trust him. He's putting out statements right now about oh, we should really rethink our support to Israel. He's full of crap. Okay?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he was in the IDF. No, don't trust him. Democrats need to distance themselves from these people. They're not healthy for us.
To be honest, I just think at the top, it's all the same. I think the Epstein files had everyone in it. I think they have been that sort of global arms trafficking, human sex trafficking syndicate is running America and has been running America for a long time. Obviously, Epstein, his side gig was blackmail, but people forget that former Mossad agents testified that he was brought in for the arms deal, for the Iran-Contra scandal.
Yes. Okay, so
I am so deep on the Epstein stuff, and I'm going, oh, okay, so this is what I think is kind of happening in America, is a lot of these people have a lot to do with trafficking.
Well, do you read Drop Site News by any chance?
No.
Okay, you will love it, because Drop Site News,
Fire. Drop Site News is... I get emails every day from Drop Site News. Fire.
First of all, there was a...
And it's free.
Leak.
I didn't have a subscription thing also, but I have the free option and I get emails all the time about shit.
Of the former Israeli prime minister's email. And so they started doing reporting on that. And then the Epstein files that were released, they specifically started to look into what kind of ties Epstein had with Israel. And it went beyond blackmailing our politicians and powerful people on behalf of Israel, right? Mm-hmm. He was making all sorts of international deals on behalf of Israel, including the arms deals you're referring to, cyber weapons, things like that. Why do you think the UAE has such a friendly relationship with Israel?
Weapons was one. Mm-hmm. And I keep trying to tell people that on my podcast. I'm like, guys, this is not... So when I'm looking into things and there's so much trafficking connections, I'm like, are we looking at the Epstein network? Is that what's being protected? And I don't know what your take is on why Trump is protecting that.
I think they have blackmail on him. I don't know how deep it goes. I also think, just keeping it real, Trump is a very corrupt person. I mean, he loves money, and I think it's easy to buy him. I think he's exceedingly easy to corrupt.
So, and this is my opinion,
Mhm.
so I have no proof of this, but when I look at the broader Epstein picture, one of the things that Epstein was always involved in was where women could be trafficked too. So Victoria's Secrets, the guy, Jean-Luc Brunel, was his partner in Paris for like the modeling firm, who ended up killing himself in prison. Killing himself and hanging himself in prison.
Just like Epstein.
Exactly. And so he was constantly plugged into all of these modeling firms, and also pageantry falls into that category. And that was when, why was Trump running, the pageantry? Like, is that how he knows Epstein world? Does it go back that deep? Did he do a deal with Epstein and look the other way, like a lot of these other people did, when these Eastern European women were coming in? Those are the questions that I have, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Do I think he's also protecting his donors? Absolutely.
Totally.
Do I think Trump is his own man? Obviously not. Miriam Adelson did a deal with him, she kind of outright purchased the White House.
I mean, he said it himself.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the thing that I guess I appreciate about Trump, if you want to put it that way. I mean, I don't know if it's due to lack of sophistication or if it's just that he can't help himself, but he just says it. He just says it. And so I choose to believe him when he says that, Miriam Adelson loves Israel more than the United States, that she's got a lot of money, that she, is a big donor. Like, I mean.
Y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that when he was talking? I don't think it was none specific or none super special, but Miriam Adelson was there. The woman that's married, well, her late husband is Sheldon Adelson. They have the casino conglomerate. Like, casinos are they shit. That's where they made all they hundreds of millions of dollars from. I think are they billionaires? I think they might be billionaires, actually. I think they might be billionaires. Either way, not here nor there. She donated 200 plus and said she want to donate more if he could go a third term. During that speech, he said, I don't know if she loves America more or Lacey more. And he put on the spot about this shit. She was the funniest shit ever. Funniest shit ever. Dog. I was like, look at this motherfucker. Put her on spot. And I don't think she answered out loud, which was, it was telling enough, right? It's telling enough that you are American, but you're a Zionist. So your loyalty lies with Zionist headquarters. You dig it? FBARN, my G, what up? I'm sorry, but Candace can't get it, even though she's the devil. Bro, she's married, bro. She's married, bro. I get it. I understand. She's married. She's not a divester, dog. I don't think she's a divester. I don't think she's a divester at all. I just think that's where her heart fell at. I don't see her as a divester.
He's communicating to us, listen, I'm doing what I'm doing because she bought me.
But that's also, by the way, what I think is wrong with Kash Patel. He's from Las Vegas. Las Vegas is a gambling empire. That's it. They own Vegas. So when I see people coming out of Vegas, my immediate assumption is, well, if you made it up the chain in Vegas, you've already done some deals. Allegedly, my opinion. But whereas like Kash Patel's from Las Vegas, there's no, of course, obviously he's corrupt. You don't get ahead in Las Vegas because you're like a good guy.
Corrupt. Like, his behavior makes that obvious.
Right.
What do you think about the reporting about his like alcohol use? Do you think that's like an attempt to smear him so it's easier to get rid of him?
Music sensation. You got to be a couple of cocktails in, right? I mean, I don't. Is that we're staying focused on things. We are designed to be an ADHD culture.
That's true.
Charlie died yesterday. I forgive him. Okay, everybody move on. We're all good. Well, let's move on. She's moved on. Everyone, forget about it. Epstein files. Oh, who are we talking about? The Epstein files. Okay, good. Let's move on. Okay, Trump says it's good, and you're MAGA, right? Here's some red meat. You're MAGA. Trump said it. Lance for the king. Yeah. And we're not doing.
And the proof of this is how. Remember when media, even YouTube, was a regular form of content, right? You would get a nice slot of 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, right? Remember, all that got shrunk down to small clip, and small clips became popular. Vine was a certain amount of time. Now YouTube Shorts became something crazy popular that people were getting buku fucking views off of, and also getting hella subs off of. Small content, short content became fire for years. That's what she's referring to. We became addicted to short form of content because we just wanted the next hit. the next set of laughs, the next tragedy. Because it's not just laughs and funny shit, right? We were watching people get knocked off at one point. People were getting knocked off, and everybody was watching the content. People fighting people. There's funny shit going on. There's horror shit going on. Across the spectrum, all the content got shrunk down. People were still stuck in that phase for so long. Vine died out. Then Tiki-Taki shows up. Same framework, small content. Now, Tiki-Taki, I believe they expanded how long the videos could be or whatever the case is. And on top of that, they made a Tiki-Taki live. We could go live on Tiki-Taki. The world is kind of going back to the long form content, the media world. And the people are now having to adjust again to long form content. Long form content is selling more because from what I understand, the people who are advertising on YouTube, they want a longer session. They want a longer advert, right? Especially if you're getting paid promotion, right? If you're not getting a paid promotion from them and you just in the pay, I forget the name of the program, like PPY or PYP or whatever the program that YouTube has. They can't really fit an ad in a short. But if you make a 30-minute video, they could drop an ad and a half, 2 ads. 2-hour video is game on. They're going to eat off of you. You're going to eat off of them, but they're going to eat off of you. Guarantee. And you know you're not getting the lion's share. You know you're not getting the big chicken. You smell me? That's what she's referring to. That quick dopamine hit, that short content hit, ADHD, addicted to this shit. Next one, scrolling. People spend hours scrolling, watching short form content. What you got, Chris? They are using the US to do the dirty work. It's all biblical. Yeah. Yep. Yes, they are. But over here we say fuck Zionists, bro.
That we're not doing that. And with this, I was like, I am not moving on from this. And so
the midterms.
Exactly. We've signed up. We're getting the documents, obviously, but the midterms. And in this particular case, so they obviously I sat down with Erica and she explained to me they were sort of moving toward this May date, or where he hasn't even entered into plea yet, to be clear. And so in May, they're supposed to have this hearing, and there's limited discovery in that time frame, because one of the questions I asked Erica sincerely was, you're communicating to the public that you believe they have the right guy. So my assumption when she was saying that to Barry Weiss was that obviously she has access to more information than we have. Like, as you know, she's involved in the case, she's listed as a victim on the case, like she can see stuff that we can't see. Maybe it's literally a clear video of Tyler Robinson coming out and shooting Charlie, like open to that. And then when I sat down with her, she was like, oh no, I don't have anything more than the public has, because now what happens is we have to move towards this May date, and the SBI, which is the Bureau of Investigations in Utah, is the state investigations in Utah. They're going to go now find all this evidence that Tyler Robinson did it. And Tyler Robinson, then they present that to Tyler Robinson's team, and they then build their sort of defense leading to this May date. Well, it turns out that Tyler Robinson's team files a document and says, we need to move the state because we have been asking for Kash Patel, who should not even be involved in this case, mind you, it's a state case, to release the information to us, to give us these documents to his defense. So like...
Yeah, so the defense is waiting on data from the prosecution team. Word on the street is that damn rifle all the way in Virginia at FBI big headquarters. The rifle out the way, can't do no more testing on it. It's bagged up and put away and sealed away. The rifle, the sus rifle with the sus bullet, with the sus fragment they found. Literally the weapon that they said just pierced into his neck, 90-degree turn down the spine, a 30-06 round. If it was a 5.56 round, I say, you know what? Fair enough. Even though 5.56 rounds don't really disintegrate or fragment like that, there are fragmented rounds. Those do exist. But 5.56 rounds tend to flip. Like when me and Kofa was talking about it, when it first happened, we was sitting there spinning wheels. The vest, 5.56 rounds, smaller round. Then come to find out it's a 30-06 round. A round that put down moose. Now you hear Charlie ate so much spinach that he had a Superman neck. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you are in the category of human being, not happening. Not happening. I don't know how much y'all know about hammers, but I have a decent amount of knowledge about hammers. I own a couple hammers, a couple different ones. My favorite, shotgun. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Always will be. Always will be my favorite. Pump, shotgun. Just my favorite. That's my thing. That's my go-to. But I do have rifles. I do have some rifles. Doesn't work like that. It's a lot of perfect things that have to happen. A lot of things have to happen. And I already told you my theory on it, so y'all know where I stand and what I believe happened that day. And to even push my point further, when Candace brought up the fact that they will blackmail you and talk down on you and kick your back in once you're not aligned with their agenda, we could just go and look at the JFK scenario, and they seem to pair up pretty well, right? Once you're not jacking they bullshit, it's a fucking problem. It's not new. Nobody's writing a new play. Nobody's writing a new script. Same shit over and over again. And let me tell you why they don't give a fuck. Let me tell you why they don't care about making shit so dope that it's just like, oh, fuck, yeah, all right, cool, I get it. You know why? Because they think about us, humans, the one they call fucking Goyim, the one they call Amalek. They really think about us. Pussy. And they might be right. Let's be honest. They actually might be right. Trent, I ain't no fucking pussy. Okay. Do you not think they treat us like pussy? Tell you whatever the fuck they feel like telling you, act how they want to act, and feel like there's no repercussion to it? Coinky dink? Repost the live on your channel. Get the word out. Repost it? All right, we'll talk about it in the back channel. They think we pussy. And they have every fucking reason to do so. The Epstein files come out and they tell you to your face, he trafficked these minors, these underage girls, to nobody. No, he trafficked them to himself. And people just sat there and took it.
This nigga's scared.
They not worried about you, bro. Yo, I thought this was gonna be mass revolt. I thought this shit was gonna shake like a motherfucker. I really did. I really did. I'm the dumb. It's me. It's me. I thought this was about to go down. What happened? Nothing. the redaction was sloppy as fuck. People started finding out who people was. Nothing happened. Not even a protest. You know why?
Pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
And they right. They actually might be right.
They're like, they haven't even given it to Utah. Forget SBI. They hasn't given it to the SBI. The defense doesn't have it. And they're like, how are we going to have this hearing when they're going to get up there and essentially put on a show trial and say, Your Honor, look at these messages, where they're like, we don't even know those messages are real.
That's crazy.
Right? So imagine we're moving toward this date, and all they have is what Kash Patel told us in the first 48 hours, but they will not give them the discovery on that. They won't give them. So like if I say, Anna texted me and said she did it, and that they want to say that, blah, blah, blah. She hasn't even been able, the defense has not even been able to access Tyler Robinson's phone. They haven't been able to see the gun. Nothing.
Wow.
And what's holding that up?
That is weird. And also, what's up with the arbitrary May date, right?
Yeah, and that was the thing. They fought back immediately because they were like, we want to make sure that like we get the discovery that we're asking for. And the judge was like, oh, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. By then, in May, if we need to bump it, we will. And they all kind of agreed to that. And now that May is upon us, Erica's team, because she's a listed victim. So when I say Erica's team, I mean literally she's a victim in this case, is fighting them. They're like, no, we want to keep the May date. And I'm like,
so
why would you want to keep the May date? And I've instantly alerted the public to that. I'm like, they are not giving them. We have no idea these shady messages. Did Kash Patel, after a few beers, type them up? We don't know. We can't say no.
That's so different person than me. So I just, people do grieve differently. I just
never wanted to arrive at Erica being suspicious. I say abstained from the like, oh, she's wearing hot pants with JD Bates. None of that matters to me.
Yeah,
because I don't think people understand. I needed it as a part of my grieving process not to accept that plausibility, because then for me, beyond just having lost Charlie and having to wake up to, and I then had to wake up to the idea that Trump betrayed him in a way, and Kash Patel, everyone is betraying him and not seeking more investigation. What I had to go through to pursue that, I had to grieve again, right? Because I knew how much Charlie wanted love. Like I have these messages, like I was helping Charlie draft text messages and what should I say? So I had to grieve again and go, okay, I need to like really just follow the facts here. And that's all I've done. And it's landed me at, she's remarkably suspicious, not because of the way she dresses, not because of whether or not she's crying enough. All of that kind of paints a picture that makes people uncomfortable, but just objective lies that I can't comprehend. Why would you lie and tell the public? And I think for me, the most explosive one that no one wants to address by calling me a monster. Why would you lie and say that the surgeon told you or told Andrew that he had a Superman neck and all of this stuff that objectively did not come from the surgeon? It came from Erica. And why would you lie and tell me that Andrew went rogue and sent that message when you did it with? I can't.
This is the part that gets me every time. This is what gets me every single fucking time. It fucks with me. Candace brought up the point that Charlie Kirk sent out that message saying that, yo, I think they're gonna knock me the fuck off. Candace brought that up. The response was, no, that never happened. You dumb motherfuckers. Does Candace look like some type of a type of person, or talks or behaves like the type of person that just says shit willy fucking nilly? You dumb fuck. If she's saying it, she has the strap in hand. She has the strap in her hand and she's waiting for you to fuck it up. I said this shit in the beginning of this shit. I said, Candace is holding more fucking cards than anybody's realizing. And what she's doing is she's baiting them in. I believe that was the same shit that I called, I showed a video of her and Charlie talking about fishing. Now, Charlie didn't like fishing or whatever the case was, or whatever it was. And I used that analogy about the bait fishing. That's the same analogy I used. Excuse me, because I think they went fly fishing. And you have to bait them in, bait them in, bait them in, bait them in. Same fucking shit. Candace not talking willy-nilly, dog. She's setting these traps up for these motherfuckers every time. And guess what they do every time? You ever seen that meme where it's like a basket and like a stick? It's a laundry basket. It's a white laundry basket. It's like a stick, and the stick has a string on it. And somehow something was in the basket and the cat goes for it and they pull the stick, boom, and the cat is under the basket now. It's a meme, it's everywhere. That's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. That is what she is doing every single time. And these dumb motherfuckers. Oh, is that the body bag? Let me get in. Make it easy. Candace, all you gotta do is zip it up. Because they so full of fucking shit. They have no fucking decency in their fucking heart. They keep bringing up this man's name. They keep talking about the shit that he fucking said in private. I got a whole fucking show. I got a whole fucking show I'm doing on that. I'm gonna blow a fucking fuse. Stand by for that motherfucker. It might be this weekend. That show might be this weekend. Keep playing.
How did you find that out? A source, a source, and I trust the source. And obviously, that's a strong statement to make. And so when Erica first said to me, I also didn't believe her, right? So when she said, "Oh," I said, "What's a Superman neck?" And she said, "Oh, well, Andrew went rogue." And then I said, "The surgeon went rogue though," and talked. The surgeon violated HIPAA, and Andrew went rogue.
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
Beyond having the conversation, Andrew then tweeted without your permission. Like that's a lot to have had to happen. I don't believe that the surgeon violated HIPAA and spoke to Andrew without your permission. And I said that to her face off. And I said, "Okay, so just drop the video so we can all put this to bed." Not only that, people at Turning Point told me that he never said that at this event. Okay, so what am I left to do? You guys mentioned this to the public. You said.
She's talking about the video where Charlie Kirk apparently said, if something happens to me, then Erica would be a great person to take over the company, and she's gonna do a fine job, et cetera, which is completely contrary to what Charlie Kirk said in the first fucking place. I already talked about this shit, but don't worry. Do not worry, do not fret, do not sweat, have no care. I am going to bring the fire flame for this. I'm telling you. When I start talking about this shit, I'm blacking the fuck out for the whole show. It comes a time and it comes a point where you will be tired of being lied to and disrespected. And if y'all have not reached that point yet, good for fucking you. But I'm at that point. More power, more praise to you. I salute you. Your brain is tight, is wrapped way tighter than mine. And I might be a little bit jealous. I don't have that fucking luxury. I don't have that type of temperament. I don't function like that. If that's how y'all function, that is completely fine. I respect it for what it is. But I ain't jacking a whole bunch of shit that's been said. I ain't jacking the fact that y'all ain't changed that show's name. I'm not jacking the fact that y'all constantly lying and speaking for this dead man. I'm not jacking it. I'm not jacking it that everybody acts oblivious to what Charlie Kirk stand for and what his mission was, what his brain thought processes was about specific things that he's talked about for years. I'm not jacking it. But don't worry. I'm going to fix their little red wagon. Watch. I'm telling you. Pure doll sim when I turn on that red button. When I hit that red button, you're going to think you're in Street Fighter fighting doll sim. You got flames everywhere.
That Charlie, 2 weeks before, I guess, had done a complete 180 on his entire life's perspective that women should stay home and raise the children and not be CEOs. And suddenly he was like, what, actually, not only should women do it, but single women should do it. Widows should do it. And
believes the role of women should be. So then
about that, wouldn't heads be rolling? Like, would
100%.
The last people that would ever have a platform at Turning Point USA, if I was the helm of it, were the people who stressed him out, who pressured him, who
I would go to war with.
Comes increasing, seeing how
I don't trust my government. Like
TNUSA.com really debated and got Trump not to do anything more than that limited military operation when they bombed Fort Howe and the other was Natanz, the other nuclear sites, and Bibi was pissed. And then we fast forward, Charlie's out of the way, and what are we doing? Everything Bibi wanted to be done. So it's hard for us. I don't know.
Experience, and it made me very close to humanity, like understanding and appreciating people's humanity first and foremost. Before,
this is good versus evil, like these demons versus angels.
I definitely think that over the last 2.5.
Yo, that eyeliner shit is fucking fire. Jesus. She smoked that, bro.
Years, I've been able to identify the existence of evil that I didn't think existed. And that pushed me a little closer to my roots because I grew up Christian. I wouldn't say that I'm like a full-blown Christian again, but I'm now realizing that I've had some experiences too, which I haven't really talked about too much publicly, mostly because after, Tucker Carlson talked about his supernatural experience, people dunked on him, including myself, and I'm very embarrassed about that. Mine wasn't like, oh, I got, attacked by demons. Mine was actually a very positive experience. And it made me very close to humanity, like understanding and appreciating people's humanity first and foremost, before seeing them as nothing more than like a political figure or a political ideology. I think that we've been going back to brainwashing. I think a lot of us have been brainwashed by our political system into dehumanizing people who disagree with us without realizing that like the only way we come up with solutions in this country in a democracy is if we encourage conversation between Americans, regardless of what they believe politically. It tends to have a more moderating effect as well, right? And you get a better sense of who your fellow Americans are, as opposed to having people in positions of power tell you who your fellow Americans are and scare you about the other side and all of that. And so I just feel like there's something bigger than us, and it's hard to explain. I'm not really big into religious doctrine per se, but I definitely don't think I'm an atheist anymore.
Right.
Yeah, this is the first time I've said that publicly.
Right, which is amazing. I mean, I think it's something's on the move, and I keep saying that. It feels like there are so many people that are having that sort of a spiritual awakening, if that's what you want to call it, and recognizing, whoa, what is happening is so evil that it is ancient. There's something ancient about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And the answers are not going to be in these fickle day-by-day discussions, and we need to, what actually has been happening since the beginning of time. And when for me, that was kind of the most natural thing where I was like, wow, this is like way deeper than I ever imagined. And you're right. It's something happens that is it's like evil by biblical proportions, right?
Yes.
It's like biblical. We can't be the same species if you're okay with what they're doing. Like there's something so much deeper. What is motivating you to be okay with a genocide? I need to figure this out. And I have been in that pursuit, I think, definitively since obviously my firing and me not comprehending everything. And I feel it has it has driven me even more. Like, I'm like, okay, I get this now. This is...
Yeah. And I love that you're willing to have people like, Norm Finkelstein on, Bassem Youssef. Like, those are some of my favorite episodes of yours. I watched it. And Bassem Youssef I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of heat too. Oh, you're talking to Candace Owens, whatever.
Bassem Youssef is the man, bro. He is the fucking man. I fucks with G. Old head, motherfucking from that region, funny cat, comedian. Yo, he's the man. I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he is the fucking man, bro. Shout out to Bassem Youssef, bro.
He got a little bit of heat on that, and I'm so happy to see that he pushed back. He's like, okay, you don't like Candace, who cares?
Yeah,
get over it.
We need more of that. We have to like take this thing out of it, because we're fighting real evil. And so I just really want to say that, like, if you think you hate someone on the left, like, is that person like I think my litmus test is like Gaza. Like, my litmus test is somehow become Gaza.
Someone else finally said it. Same for me. It's funny because I went through at least a year and a half being like deeply, deeply bitter toward the left because of how they reacted toward me when I started to like moderate literally on like two issues. The way we were handling crime policy. And by the way, I don't want to go back to like tough on crime, throw everyone in prison. I was just like, hey, I live in California. We need to just calibrate a little bit because this isn't working out. And then there was one other issue. I can't remember what it is at the moment, but they like threw me away, and like longtime friends of mine like just started putting out like negative content about me. And I was bitter about it. But after everything that happened in Gaza, I have a pretty strict policy right now. You are against what's happening in Gaza. That means to your core, you're a good person. So who cares what you did to me? I'm not attacking you. I consider you a good person. Mm-hmm. And so you're on my side. Even if we have these little squabbles and these disagreements, who cares? Mm-hmm. If you care about making this country better.
Anna said she ready to squabble up. Anna said, squabble up.
I want war with all of you.
And you're willing to sacrifice, the purity of your political brand or whatever to work with people that you might have other disagreements with. I love you. I want to work with you. You're a good person. I don't want to waste any of my time anymore with these like nonsense little squabbles when like our country is under attack. Okay, our government doesn't represent us. Moneyed interests control us. Foreign influence is out of control. We have problems that are way bigger than like, I don't know what you think about, even crime policy, right? Like, okay, you don't agree with me on crime policy, it's fine, whatever. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Mm-hmm. And you can attack me if you want, but the reason why I don't want to attack back at this point is because it's not important in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Okay, so I want to ask you in closing, what are your predictions for, I would say this next year, because I go back to that something feels very fragile right now. Everyone's lashing out. They seem like they've lost control. Trump, like he's really completely lost his support. He doesn't want to acknowledge it. They're kind of keeping him in a cave of Fox News every day, telling him he's amazing. Also, fake news CNN says 100%. I have 110% support. What are your predictions? Like, what do you feel toward him and where we're at right now as a nation?
So there have been a lot of liberals who are worried that Trump, if he gets reelected, as he did, he's never going to leave the White House. I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah. I think that in order to do a literal coup, you would need popular support among your base, and he's losing that support big time. I think the popularity of Tucker Carlson gives me a look into what the conservative movement is evolving toward. At least I'm hoping that's the case, because he's very much conservative. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, he's still, anti-abortion, all the conservative values that have existed when it comes to social issues. But he woke up to the neocons. He woke up to the big game that's being played with our money, our resources, with our reputations as Americans. And he's speaking out against it, and he's taking a huge risk. And guess what? He's got a lot of support, not just from conservatives, but also I'm noticing, the biggest voting bloc now are independents. And he has a lot of support among independents as well. I'm even seeing some.
That's true. That's true. And the independents are pushing heavy. That's why everybody's thinking that Thomas Massey would push a stronger independent campaign. Too many times we forget about the independent party, right? And everybody thinks it's a two-party system where you have the donkey and the elephant, right? The Crips and the Bloods, the blue and the reds, and they forget that it's not just two parties. There's another party, independent party. There's other parties also, but because they basically take the lion's share, because Americans are so. I mean, I think human beings are very left or right-ish about certain things, especially when it comes to their politics. I think they're very much left or right, and a lot of the times it's due to propaganda and brainwashing, right? Like we see how the Dems treat black people. They don't give them anything, and they expect to vote. Simply. It's just that simple. And we look at the history of the Democratic Party, and we realize that the Dems ain't really for black people. It's a long history about it, right? But still, they depend on the black vote, but they do nothing for it. Nothing for it. There's no, you know what, blacks, we see what we comprehend it. We're going to lock in on these things right there. No, none of it. But blacks have still got up and go to that fucking ballot booth and vote blind as fuck because their great granny was a Democrat. Since the fuck this identity politics, well, we know identity politics is not really new. It's now being identified as identity politics, but it's not new. But since when the fuck did my skin color that was given to me and my family by the Almighty Creator dictates my political view? On those things are clearly two separate things. Clearly two separate fucking things. But now my ethnicity, my skin color, the level of melanin in my DNA determines my political stance and where I should stand politically. Are you fucking dumb? Do I not have red blood pumping through my fucking veins? Am I not a red-blooded man? Do I not have my own fucking brain to make my own decisions? And even after black men stood with black women and voted for Cam, black men still got their back kicked in by black women. I'll leave that story for another fucking day.
Hardcore lefties like reluctantly admit like Tucker's right about this, and I love it. I love that. Be honest with yourself. Who cares about the labels? What are your values? And stick to those values. Mm-hmm. And if you do that, you have to give Tucker Carlson credit for being as vociferous as he's been against Israel's influence on the United States, what's been going down in the Middle East, how much we have lost in blood and treasure when it came to forever wars that were fought on behalf of Israel in the past. And by the way, this is not, I want to be clear, this is not a partisan thing. Like, this foreign policy is very much bipartisan. Under Obama, and a lot of people don't know this, We wanted to assist Israel in turning Syria into a failed state. And we certainly succeeded in that mission. So under Obama, we started arming literal terrorists, including like Al-Qaeda offshoots.
Al-Nusrat.
Yes, Al-Nusra, exactly. How the hell could anyone defend that? It's so wrong. And so we need people who are awake to how much this puts Americans at a disadvantage, how evil and immoral all this behavior has been. I hate the way that people across the globe perceive us. You know, Iran, their propaganda has been very effective.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, their Lego
propaganda
videos
slaps.
are amazing.
Yeah.
And the one that they put out recently where they're speaking directly to the American people and telling us, like, we actually love you guys. We have no problem with you guys. We know it's your government and that they're not representing what you want.
I'll let her finish this one before I let her finish.
It was a sigh of
Yes.
relief. I'm like, please do not grow up and think that we support this geriatric, pedophile defending, like Epstein class of psychopaths.
Exactly.
We don't want this. We do not want this war. We want to go about our day, have low gas prices, be able to afford groceries. And when they put that out, that message, it was like they are plugged in.
Yeah, they are.
They're plugged into how the American people feel. So Trump does not comprehend that. He is completely removed from it. And now you have Iran, and they have pretty much done everything the right way. We're trying to negotiate. We're killing people while we're negotiating.
I know.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Crazy what we did. And Americans are awake to that.
They are.
So
that's what gives me hope. So my prediction for the future is I don't think the political landscape is going to look anything like it has over the last, 25 years. I think things are changing. I think Americans are uniting on issues that matter the most. And that gives me hope. So as negative as all the issues we've been talking about are, fact of the matter is we are kind of moving in a better direction. At least the people of this country are. And we need to find a way. We need to start strategizing on how to change the political class.
All right. Let me signify. When 9/11 happened, that great fucking tragedy that is mind-blowing to me. It's extremely mind-blowing that it happened, right? And the loss of life. It's just a fucked up thing across the board, right? I think we could all agree on that. America's greatest ally. Do you remember their response to it? Greatest ally. Do you remember their response? I put it like this. Their response was not very ally-like. Wasn't the homie response you think you get from somebody that claims to be greatest ally in the East, right? In the West, sorry. No, it's the East. I'm tripping. They say these things and they're so fucking empty. There is not one time that they have given any fucking thing to America. Fuck literacy. Fuck them Zionists. If you're a fucking Zionist, fuck you. If you don't think about your neighborhood first, your household first, your state first, and your country first, fuck you. Don't come around here. You're not welcome, G. You're not. M love. Exactly. You know what Iran did during 9/11? Do you know what Iran fucking did when 9/11 happened? Iran marched through the fucking streets of their country, burning fucking candles and praying for America. I'll say it one more time. Iranians took to the street to march and pray and burn candles for the American people. I'm going to say it one more fucking time. Greatest ally ain't do none of that shit. The one that got, it seems like they got America by their fucking balls and pull on them bitches and tug on them, and America just shifts and moves however the fuck they want to. The great ally, right? Our greatest ally in the motherfucking East, right? Ain't do a motherfucking thing. As a matter of fact, they found people that were sitting there watching this shit with joy on their fucking face. As a matter of fact, a bunch of the fucking Zionist motherfuckers ain't go to work that fucking day. As a matter of fact, they got video upon video upon video of people in the fucking city at that fucking time smiling. But you know what Iran did? The great terrorist regime, Iran. You know what they did? The country that's so oppressed by the supreme Ayatollah. They marched in the fucking streets with candles, bro, praying for America. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all knew that they millions of people, not no fucking little town. It wasn't 200 people out there. They flooded the country streets, millions of them. March all through the night, praying with candles lit. How many of y'all knew that? But best ally, right? Best ally? Okay. Apparently there was some Mossad involvement. Allegedly. Hold on, let me use my button real quick. Let me use my button, you hear me? Sound like a Lil Wayne mixtape. Let's be real, dog. Let's be real. Who knew that? Who knew that Iran prayed, marched, and cried for the lives lost? So to signify what she's talking about, everybody has propaganda. Every country has their own propaganda, especially when we're talking about these world powers. They have their own propaganda scheme, their own propaganda machines to manipulate their people, to instill pride into their people. Go back and look at Nazi Germany. Propaganda out the wazoo. Go back and look at the Bolshevik War. Propaganda out the wazoo. Propaganda is a tool that governments use on their people and against their enemies. That's all it is. It's a tool. I like that. Aren't officially an ally. Make that make sense. Of course. Dog. Let's close this one.
Entirely. All of them. Okay. And the Chuck Schumers on the Democratic side, they got to go.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, it has been an absolute honor to host Anna Kasparian. I am sure there will be backlash. Actually, not for me. My audience is very split now. Because I
really?
Shout out to Candace. Shout out to Anna. Beautiful, beautiful interview. That's why I call it Beauty and Brains. In closing, people are waking up to the bullshit. So shout out to everybody who's waking up. The lies and the propaganda being given to Americans that doesn't even benefit Americans, right? Where you waking up in the morning and your gas price jumped 50 cents simply because one country bent the USA into attacking Iran. And like I said, we go back to Yom Kippur War with Nixon. Time to take my Geritol. Go back to it, and Nixon and Golda Meir, the Iron Lady, Ada Lacy, the Prime Minister, I believe she told him, if you don't get involved and give us some support, because remember, they said no. Nixon said, no, I ain't jacking it. Went about his business. Then he had to come back and lie about his mother gave him his mother vision and all this fucking bullshit. That happened. And before you know it, the tide of the Yom Kippur War shifted. And now America is the big dog on the block that pushed Israel into victory against Egypt. Big salute to you, KDJ, my man, bro. I know you got that cup. You probably got that VSOP. Big salute to you, big dog. You know what it is. I gotta pop off here in a little bit because I got another show I'm doing tonight over there by What's Up, Red Lipstick Vibes. We got a show we doing tonight. We partying over there on the late night witching hour show. That's my shit. That show be fire as fuck. But I'm going over there later on tonight. Somebody drop Red's channel, so y'all know where to find me. What time? Hold on, I'll tell you what time that show kicking off at. Give me 1 second. Un momento, por favor, mi amigos. Boom. That show is kicking off at 1:15. 1:15 Eastern. That'd be 10:15 Pacific time. So pull up over there, have a good time with us. We're gonna be in there wilding out, having a fucking blast. It's always a good time in witching hours, dog. They call it witching hours because they demons. Relax. Yeah, RLV. We got my RLV. So y'all go over there, hit the show, click notify me. So whenever we fire it up, y'all know exactly what's going on. Cuzzo is going live also. When is Cuzzo going live? Is he live already? He's doing Insomnia, right? Oh, Cuzzo going at the same time? Okay. We all gonna be on. Well, yeah, we'll bounce back and forth and show support to everybody, dog. Y'all know how we do it over here. We support everybody. We ain't stingy with the fucking like buttons or the subscriptions or none of that shit. Cuzzo's on now. Okay, all right, Trills. All right, we about to go bounce over there by Cuzzo. Reaper dropped Cuzzo's channel in there and the stream. We about to pull up over there by Cuzzo real quick, hang out with him, and then I gotta bang out from there to do Witching Hours by Red. But you know what? Y'all know what to do. Pull up on both channels, show love, hit the buttons. You feel me? Be nice and decent because there's some decent motherfucker people out here. He and I nice him. Slim Trim and I'm built to win. This is your humble host, Trent. I am Granny's baby, aka Grandpa's son. Welcome back to the town square where all is clean and all is fair, but have no fear. Ladies, kick up your feet, have some wine, and relax your hair. Jana Rose, shots on me. While the fuck out, hold it down. MSG for life. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we do. Y'all know how he does it. You hear me? Love yourself so you can love the people that surround you, and take care of yourself so you can take care of the people that surround you. This thing in life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Train every day like the marathon is tomorrow. And this ain't to make you scared. This ain't to make you be bummy, right?
This nigga's scared.
That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about real life things to make you aware. We're here to talk about things that get you prepared. All right? Only thing pussy about the fucking town square is them girls.
Pussy. Pussy, pussy, pussy.
Man, y'all know it's a love thing, dog. I see you over there by Cuzzo. We headed over to Cuzzo. I wish I know how to push it to his live. I gotta figure that stuff out. Told y'all fun. I love the books. Yeah, we read books over here. Okay, thanks. Now going to be stuck in my head. Yeah, we headed to Cuzzo, GC all over there. Let's go over there and bang heavy with the homie. Big salute to y'all once again. This is the town square. This is FDNHT Trend, holding it down from the crown to the motherfucking ground. G, let's go by Cuzzo and say what's up. Yo, see y'all over there.